people have access to education more than ever, but nobody is talking about climate change.
Nations are not majorly concerned about the climate and they laugh it off. They are interested just only in their vote bank.
We have to raise our voices, and not just the government but also the citizens themselves would have to take steps forward to curb the issue.
What happened in Wayanad is a wake-up call for all of us as a nation, as a globe.
Namaste viewers, I'm Ashish Parekh and welcome to this brand new episode of Campus Mirror. This is a show where we speak to the youth of the nation about the nation's most burning issues. We take their ideas and opinions about the current topics, and on our focus today in this show is going to be the Wayanad tragedy. Over 400 lives lost, thousands of lives ruined forever, and many questions still unanswered. And even this with the growing risk of more landslides in the nation across different parts because of climate change and also because of unregulated urbanization. So this raises a very important question. Was the Wayanad tragedy just a natural disaster or was it a man-made one? Let's speak about this to the students here at the Bennett University campus. Right now I've got a few students with me. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Chinmay and I'm a BLLB student.
Right. So you know about the Wayanad tragedy. It's been in the news. We've seen the horrific visuals. How much of it do you attribute to climate change? First of all, give us your opinion about what exactly happened there. What do you think triggered it?
I think it's very saddening, and I definitely think that it is the climate change. But what is saddening and what is most concerning about is that today the world we are living in, people have access to education more than ever, but nobody is talking about climate change. Like it is an issue which is not existing at all. People are not paying attention to it, and I think people need to think about it. That climate change is something which should be a political issue, which should be included in the memorandum of people while representing their political parties, and it should be something which has to be dealt with on a very urgent basis, because not just the future of our country but the entire world depends on it. And climate, it's not something very small. So
absolutely, like you rightly pointed out, a lot of people don't take climate change very seriously, but a lot of experts that we spoke to, I had a lot of discussions with them as well, and one of the factors that I've been told is the fact that the excess rainfall that was caused in Wayanad was because of climate change. That was one of the major factors. So again, why do you think climate change is not really spoken about in our nation, especially when we have tragedies like this coming up?
Even though Justice Satyanarayan from the Kerala High Court had spoken about it, he stated that over 90% of the houses which were built in that region, they were approved by the municipal corporation, but rest were not. And the terrain in which that particular region is there, that does not support like so much of construction. It is a loose soil region near the Western Ghats. So I believe even it was in the notice of the government, but there was no action taken upon it.
Why do you think they didn't take any action?
I believe that was not a part of their political manifesto, and it would not fetch them vote definitely. So I don't think climate change is a political issue as of now, but it should be, as he said, rightly stated. So
right, so climate change has to be a political issue. Very interesting point of view coming in from the students there, making it very clear that political manifesto shouldn't be the priority. The priority should actually be the safety of the people. Do you really think political reasons are behind things like this? Because like he rightly said, a lot of warnings were given in advance as well. There was a Madhav Gadgil report as well, IIT Delhi report, that also pointed at the fact that it was not a safe place to stay. Why do you think the government did not act, or multiple governments, or whoever it is, the officers responsible? Why do you think they are scared of taking action and actually asking people to move away?
What I feel is government is just behind the vote banks and everything, and that's why they are doing the unplanned urbanization. And what I feel is urbanization, which was unplanned, that causes a lot of, there was no proper drainage system, and that's why the rainfall which happened in the landslides and whatever happened, it was a major factor for that. If we would have proper drainage system, then maybe floods would have been controlled. And what I also feel is the shift of commercial, traditional agriculture system to the modern agriculture system, which leads to soil erosion and issues like that.
Right. So urbanization is not a problem, like she rightly said. Unregulated urbanization is the problem. What do you think?
Yes, so it has been rightly stated by the other fellow mates that I have here. Plus, what I think is that urbanization to an extent is okay. But if we look at the unregulated urbanization, it is just deforestation and deforestation happening on regular basis. And it is to be noted that in such terrains, it is very important to hold the soil, that there should be certain amount of trees planted and secured, so that landslides do not happen, because that soil is supposed to move if there is nothing holding it. And if we have such level of urbanization happening on such a terrain, it would be obvious, even if there is no rain, after a point of time the land after that much of use would become loose and would start losing its ground. And there would be landslides even without rainfall after a point of time. So we need to consider all these things as well.
My friend, you seem to have a lot of idea about what possibly went wrong there. Why do you think the people whose job is actually to be knowing all these things, why do you think they didn't know it? Or even if they did, why didn't they act?
I think the main reason is the vote bank. So if you move the people from there, they would obviously be raising objections, because they were not objected when they actually moved into that place, when they had invested nothing in that particular terrain. Now that they have invested, now if the government would ask them to leave because it is not safe, they would obviously be losing something over there.
Correct.
So if they would have asked it in the initial stage, or they would have compensated in a proper manner, and they would have considered all those things, it would have been an easy thing
Absolutely. One word there, which is of course very clear here, is the fact that this is actually an avoidable tragedy. This was an avoidable tragedy and action wasn't taken to avoid it. Right. So a lot of your friends now were talking about the fact that climate change isn't taken very seriously in India. When we say climate change, when we say global warming, a lot of people laugh it off in India. They say all of these things don't exist. Yes, a fancy baat hai. Do you think these are just fancy words, or do you think they actually exist?
No, actually these things exist, and people in India do talk about those things. But the main thing is that authorities there, actually they are here. They are here in the middle, who stops people who are protesting against these things, and they favor development, which is materialistic. Like that is needed. We are not denying that we don't need.
Development is not a problem. Unregulated, unplanned, selfish development is the problem.
Yes, and where we keep things at stake for the betterment. We keep the betterment of people at stake.
Help us understand, why is climate change not taken so seriously in India? Because we see a lot about it in the textbooks. As kids, we all read about it. We all see articles about it. A lot of fund is given to it also. But why do you think it's not taken seriously at the policy level?
As we can see that there are major incidents regarding this, and due to human intervention, most of the incidents happen. So we need a updated plan, and authorities need to plan something out for this particular, like a warning system. We can work upon this early warning system. So the authorities should plan, but actually the politicians are not majorly concerned about the climate, and they laugh it off. They are interested just only in their vote bank, and that's all.
But again, in this budget, also we saw a significant allocation for environment. Previous budgets also, a lot of talk was about green energy. Do you think somewhere that all of these terms are limited to the documents and they don't really reflect on the ground? On the ground actions are not really taken to ensure that the money that is sent out, it's not really reflecting on the ground?
Yes, surely. The money is not reaching where it should. It is not being utilized in the way it is being told to us. So as we can see, we talk about green energy. We are not developing so far as we are stating it. The facts in the on-ground reality is different from the facts that are stated by the authorities.
Right. All right. So clearly there a lot of difference between what's being stated in the budget, what's being stated on the documents, but what action is being taken. Your friends also pointed out the fact that political reasons and also lack of understanding could be the reason why people in our nation don't really act about it. What do you think actually should be done? Because now we're talking about the problems. What do you think should be the solution going forward? What are the actions that should be taken to ensure that such topics are discussed and on ground, district level, village level, actions are taken to ensure that climate change is limited?
First of all, we need to work upon the security and the actual ground depth of the project that we are drilling. In the Wayanad situation, more than 400 people have died. But we have to locate and see where the urbanization is going on. If we don't know much about the land and the material that the urbanization is happening, then these kind of disasters will happen. And they are happening and it is not actually good because people are losing lives, and as in MP right now in Kerala, this is not a very good sign. And yes, climate change, they are just naming it in the climate change and everything, but it is not at all in reality. Because of this urbanization, people are losing lives.
Right.
So, and as you were talking about the policies and all, exactly, I'm agreeing with my friend over here. The policies that are shown on paper, and that is reality, that it is only on paper. The money that has been funding towards the people, it is not going towards them. There is a lot of reasons. Corruption is one of them. But yeah, urbanization and climate change. People are naming it on the climate change. It is a natural disaster, but it is mostly a man-made disaster that is happening because of the mining in the Western Ghats. So that should not happen. If you are happening, that those places should be restricted area, or some amount of area should be restricted from there.
Correct.
For the urbanization, so that people that they are living over there, those should have an idea that their lives are at cost, that anything can happen over there.
Absolutely. It's a responsibility, I think, like you're saying, of everyone involved, the authorities who are involved, the people on ground who work as well. We've got some more students here. We are, of course, talking about the issues at hand, what can be done. Let's also talk about the role of students, because we talk a lot about the problems, what should be done, what the authorities should do, what should be the policy level changes. But students, so you are all law students, so you understand what has to be done and what's the responsibility of the officers and policy level changes. So now a lot of building laws are also in place, a lot of regulations are also in place to ensure that climate is kept in mind, the environment is kept in mind while constructing a building. But still violations happen, still people ensure that they break the rules. So what more can the government do to ensure that people actually take environment into consideration and not just their own benefit?
Actually, the thing about this is very simply, what government does is basically they want to raise more taxes. At the end of it, that's the whole conclusion of it all. And currently in Bangalore also similarly, there is water shortage, extreme water shortage, because there is no groundwater remaining, because they have constructed buildings to such an extent that it has already half of the water resources are either polluted by the construction.
And ironically, Bangalore was once called the city of lakes.
Exactly. And similarly now in Wayanad, there has been so much deforestation that landslides are happening. Basically, landslides, why do they happen? They can be prevented if there are trees and they are holding onto the ground, then landslides won't happen. But now that Kerala, which is one of the most beautiful states of India, now suffering with landslides means there has been some extreme level of deforestation. As my seniors also, we were a bit collectively discussing, and we just came to the conclusion that the government there is actually trying to hide things. Currently, according to some very famous reports from the Wire and other sources, we can be seen that current death toll was 308 and 206 people are still missing. Whereas the CM has also said that only 215 people have died. And people who hide the actual calamity and the gravity of destruction, I don't think so they are more prominent on taking actions to secure people's future.
The fact that they're actually trying to hide the scale of the disaster is actually showing you that they are not really keen on acting on it. It's not just Wayanad. He's spoken a lot about Wayanad. We also spoke to a lot of your friends about Wayanad. It's not just Wayanad. We see similar situation in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. Last year also we saw national highways being washed away, lots of homes being destroyed, and not just in India. Also in China we had recently visuals of such incidents coming to light. What do you think is triggering that? Because this cannot be just bad administration, because bad administration, one or two countries you probably see it. The fact that it's happening all across the globe, it actually goes on to show that there's a much bigger global phenomenon at play.
It also sometimes matters how much people are concerned about it. As a law student, I must say we study IPC, CRPC as our core subjects. We must also read about our climate, it's degrading day by day, and we must ensure that students are aware. It's the time of social media, obviously, and we can raise our voices against anything, as we have freedom of speech and expression. So as he said, a lot of senses are being kept hidden by the government. It's not just about government, we also have to ensure that much more people are getting informed about it, as we had the heat stroke in Delhi. And that was in one way or the other, it was about deforestation and all. We don't have proper, it's about global warming also. So we must take some actions as our consciousness. We are law students, we can raise concern about it among the normal people, common people who are not that that much aware about it, about the current census. So we must raise voices.
Absolutely. You're talking about global warming here. We're all sweating buckets right now.
Yes.
I think there's no bigger example of global warming than that. And everyone here is actually sweating a lot. So I think that itself is an example of what's really happening as far as climate change is concerned. Now, a lot of your friends are also talking about the issues at hand, what the government needs to do and everything. How much of a role do you think the students have to play as well? Because a lot of student voices also needs to be raised about this. As a student level, you study about this in your textbooks, in your books, but when the students graduate and they actually go to their jobs, they still act the same, like their predecessors were acting. So what more can we do to ensure that the students are educated about it?
I think students are mainly concerned about employment rather than the global impact on the world. And students should start...
But what's the point of employment if you can't go to your office because there's no road?
Exactly. If you're going to the office and it's filled with floods, and people aren't even concerned right now that there are floods, they are still enjoying in the water you have seen in the UP incident. So I think students should start questioning that we are facing these issues, and they have to take the action right now, that get up and do things. Throw the trash away. These are the things students should be more concerned about.
Right. Also, what do you think about the whole point about climate change and global warming in India? Because every time we talk about these things, people say, "Arey, ye to fancy word hai. Arey, ye to matlab first world ke problems hai. India mein sab nahi hota." What do you think about it?
Okay, so first of all, coming to what she said about students, I think as the saying goes, the students are the future of the nation. We are the ones who would actually bring the change, and how youth is actually promoted to be joining politics, right? But we as students are not utilizing our power. And when it comes to global warming and climate change, India is also a big victim, if I may put it as such, of the issue. And just because we put a blind eye to the issue, it is not going to go away. We have to raise our voices, and not just the government, but also the citizens themselves would have to take steps forward to curb the issue. I think we are more into blame.
Sorry to interrupt. What are these changes that you're talking about? Because what happens is, we talk a lot about this on these forums. Government also talks about it while presenting the budget. They say green energy, they say very fancy words. But policy level changes, we don't really see happening too much. There are taxes that are levied, green tax, fuel tax, environment tax, every tax. But what's the change? Do you see any change?
I don't a lot. I mean, definitely there are a lot that is put on paper, but when it comes to action, there is not really a lot of implementation. So one, what we really need from citizens is, we know the sustainable development goals put forth by the UN. Why can't we take a step? जो भी शुरू होता है घर से शुरू होता है. So we'll have to start from home.
Correct.
And then we take it forward. But when it comes to the government itself, we'll have to really emphasize that we want a change. And we know that we can do it at our level, but that is very grassroots level. When we look at the entire nation as a whole, the government needs to take action because they have the resources for it.
Correct.
We can only demand for a change. Right?
Correct.
So I think that would be all.
Absolutely. So very interesting points here. The fact that the government should be held accountable, and not just accountable, the government should do everything that they can to ensure that changes are made and changes are brought about. What do you think are the changes that we should be looking at as far as the government is concerned about these? Because climate change, like a lot of your friends also said, it's not just limited to what's happening in Wayanad, what's happening in Uttarakhand. Across the nation, we're looking at these issues, and we may not see a major impact right now, but our future generations definitely will. So right now, what are the changes that the government should make?
There are some areas that we know of which should be off limits for things like construction and development. Deforestation is a very big issue that is one of the biggest reasons for climate change. For industrialization, for the purpose of development, we keep cutting trees and forests which are supposed to help us restore back the climate, but these things are not being kept in mind, and government should keep these things in mind while they give approvals for cutting of land. For example, there are a lot of bridges or tunnels being created across the nation, and which is a good thing for development, but we should also keep in mind that while we are constructing these developments, we can also lose lives on the other aspect.
Absolutely. So they shouldn't just focus on what they're constructing, but also the damage that they're causing to the nature as well.
Yes, I completely agree with this because we do as a youth, we do at a point that development should be there, but not at the cost of the people. We as a youth are the nations, are the builders of this, and the people who are there in the country are the future. So if they are dying at the cost of the development, it is not a good future because we are the people who are voting at the end of the day, and it is our hands that how should we develop our nation, because it is very important. And at the time when we are at such a point that there's so much construction going on, bridges are being made, I do not think that development is at top priority. It should be at the top priority, but it should not lose the people because we are the people of the nation.
Right. Development, like you rightly pointed out, we are a developing country, lots of development happening in India right now, and that also means that with a lot of development comes a lot of responsibility. How we develop, that's a big question. How we build our buildings, that's a big responsibility that we have.
Like basically for the development, like we are constructing bridges and dams and all, like the material, the resources which we are using, like all the materials which we are applying, maybe we could resource them well, we could use them well, like offer very good quality so that they could stay for a longer period of time and don't cause like calamities or any major disasters to the people and to the environment.
Right. We are talking a lot about construction, but what about our day-to-day usage? Like for example, we use a lot of cars, we use a lot of vehicles and all. What can we as common citizens do to ensure that in our day-to-day lives as well, we ensure that climate change and global warming is something that we have in mind?
One thing that we should do that we can plant more trees in proportion to how much we are manufacturing the vehicles and everything as well. We can plant more as we build more so that everything is balanced. Like we can at least try to restore it.
Correct, right. All right. So now you and I won't be building dams. We won't be building long, big buildings and stuff like that. So what can we do to ensure that we keep the environment safe and also we ensure that people who are also watching us are aware about the effects that it's going to have on the environment?
I think for any change to occur, I'll be speaking from a law student's perspective. Environmental law needs to be stricter. There needs to be policy change, and the policy change needs to be in a way that there are no exceptions. Because there are policies, but then certain companies, certain private enterprises do things which makes their effort to develop or expand their profits in that exception criteria. So the policy makers need to realize that there needs to be a change, and it needs to be quicker, because we are not realizing, but reversing this climate change would be a heavy task. I would rather say an impossible one, and the sooner we start, the better it will.
I believe that is because of unsustainable use of resources and unsustainable, rather carbon emissions that have been increasing day by day, and even as a country where we've...
Right, finally I have someone who's talking about sustainability, because I was expecting a lot more people to make this point. Okay, tell me more about the sustainability that you're talking about.
I do not stick to India, I don't stick to the globe. Let's talk about Kyoto Protocol for that matter. Kyoto Protocol was a failure because we haven't been able to reduce carbon emissions as we'd aimed in that particular year. Even for that matter, the Paris Climate Deal that took place in 2015. A lot of countries, especially the United States of America, they backed out in 2017 because I believe it speaks to the attitude of the globe towards climate change. If you look at Albert Gore's documentary on An Inconvenient Truth, when he approached India talking about climate change, because he was one of the last politicians who actually tried to do something about climate change. Our response to him was rather inflammatory. We talked about how the United States has been doing the same thing for 50 years and have now the nerve to lecture us about climate change. While we don't really try to understand that climate change as a whole is a problem for the globe. And whilst if you'd asked this question 15 to 20 years ago, our response would have been that climate change, like other issues in the globe, do not...
So instead of getting defensive, instead of actually trying to counter others, we should actually introspect and ensure that whatever we're doing it in a way that actually is beneficial to us, but also to the environment.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at Beijing for that matter, Beijing, I believe 5 to 10 years ago was the most polluted city in the world, but now they've been taking initiative. They've set up a 22-foot tall smoke tower that actually sucks smoke out of the air, out of the environment. That is a good initiative. And
there's a smoke tower in Delhi, but that doesn't work. It's a different thing.
Exactly. I mean, we have to take more initiatives to counter climate change, and also we need to introduce this in corporate sectors as well. We talk about CSR, corporate social responsibility, and the treatment of wastes that come from factories. I think that if we take collective initiatives as a society, I think climate change is still a problem that we can counter as the human race.
Right. So all these places which are ecologically sensitive, the government, the administration goes against the report, against the recommendations of those who are well versed in such educational areas, and do their own action disregarding such warnings.
Right. Accountability has to be fixed, action has to be taken, and also we need to ensure that citizens are also made aware about it. Right, viewers? On that note, it's a wrap for me on this episode of Campus Mirror, and to make it more ironic, the fact that we are sweating like buckets, everyone, it I think was a good example of the fact that we're talking about climate change, and also goes on to show that it's not just something that exists in books and also documents, but also something that we experience in real life. Alright, we'll be joining you in the next episode with yet another burning issue, burning topic, only on Campus Mirror. Stay tuned.